My next guest is a guy that I'm very, very excited about. He's well known in Los Angeles County, but if you venture outside of that, unless you're paying attention, you might miss this guy. But I'm telling you, that would be a mistake. He is one of the most exciting lightweights that I know of. We're currently on a 3-fight winning streak,
Thank you, man.
and he just got his last one at Urijah Faber's A1 Combat 6, Mr. Eugene Correa. Mr. Correa, thank you for being on my show, man. You're the
Course,
conquistador, man. I had to talk to the
man.
I had to talk to the conquistador. You know this.
It's an honor, man. Thank you.
So I have to tell you, man, you and Juan Archuleta, you guys look good out there in all your drip. I like it, man. I like the armor. I like it. I like the vibe. Tell me how you got that name.
Gotta be a soldier, bro. You know.
Tell me about that. That's a cool name. How did you get it?
Got the idea from France, man. You know, and from my dad's bloodline, where he's not really mixed, so just thought about it. I'm like, you know what soldier would I represent in the Hispanic culture? You know, not necessarily saying I'm Spaniard, but just I can't be a gladiator. I can't be a Roman. You know, like what the fuck? What am I gonna be? So I'm like, I know that looks pretty cool. Some guy made me the helmet online, and you know what? It was something that stood out because it kind of blew up a little bit on Twitter and whatnot, and yeah, that's the story with that, man.
I love watching you fight. You're very exciting to me, but I appreciate getting ready for this interview. You know, people who've been paying attention to me for a little while know I come to all my shows well versed. I've done my homework, and doing the homework on you. You're a guy that did not have like smooth sailing right into MMA. Like, well, there were some choppy waters at the beginning, and you were even in the red at one point. Now you're a completely different guy, and you're just making it look easy. Tell me, like, what happened?
And I was in the red. I mean, I was in the red because right after my pro debut, which was a gladiator challenge fight, it got fixed. It was short amateur, but it was my pro debut. After that, I got offered a fight in 6-day notice against Canon Kauai, I think, from Hawaii. His dad was a black belt. I think he might have popped for Bellator. Yeah, he popped for Bellator. He tried on the contender twice. I know he lost maybe by decision or something. Very good guy, black belt. You know, I was only a blue belt when I faced him. And the 6-day notice was like, yo, I didn't even make weight, bro. I just showed up. And they took 20% off my purse. And I knew that I wasn't going to make weight. So I was walking around like 178. I'm like, fuck, you want to do it at catch weight 160? And I'm like, fuck, dude. At the moment, bro, I had no choice. You know, when you come from a struggle, man, and you come from not being spoon fed, like I was saying, you know, like you don't have these opportunities fixed as much or there left and right. You kind of have to say, yeah, dude. So I said, yeah, bro, and it was a mistake. I missed the spinning back elbow. I didn't connect it how I should have, and I know Cannon took me down. I lost to guillotine eventually. The Bellator fight, I thought I got stopped. I got stopped pretty early. I couldn't. They didn't let me work my ground at all. I know I got dropped. He hit me very good with uppercut. But I also got eye poked. Not a lot of people saw. I got eye poked. His thumb hit my right eye, and then I got caught with multiple uppercuts. That was my slack. I should have worked my wrestling more. I should have had a little more confidence. I think I was just nervous, just getting into the big stage, you know?
Yeah.
I think I was only like 4-2 amateur, and then maybe like that was my third or second pro fight. So I was like, man, you know what? I was nervous, bro. Fighting for Bellator, like, you know, I was big, dude. So I had a lot of people like looking and shit. So I was like, man, you know, like I got nervous, and you know what? That doesn't mean that what's his name, Sonny wasn't better. You know, of course he was better that night. So I'm not taking any credit of that. Like,
well, one of the things that's
so
amazing.
I was in the red, and now it's a little green.
One of the things that's so amazing about it is you're fighting for Bellator, like you don't even have 5 fights yet, and you're like fighting in Bellator. And like a lot of people don't really do that. And like all of a sudden, like bam, you find yourself in that situation. Mentally, it would be really easy to like, you know, not process that, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, well, you know what it was I was just helping out the guys at Body Shop a lot with that Emmanuel, AJ at the time, Aaron Pico. You know, these guys were putting a good word on me, Antonio, and you know, I'm a good sparring partner, man. I'm a dog when it comes to it. So wherever it goes, ground, top, bottom. So you know, I just got the respect, and then you know, kind of got in there. Might have been a little too early, but you know, I'm grateful. I was in there. Right now, I'm trying to move on from that and fight for the UFC. Hopefully, like child for the contender. I think I need maybe like two more fights, one more fight, and then test my skills out there, and see how I do against the top dog,
Well, I tell you
And
what, you
that's what
keep
life's short. Life's short. So I might as well go all out, man. Like what the fuck am I out here fucking around, sitting around waiting for a fish, when I could catch anything,
hey,
and stock up good.
I can completely appreciate where you're coming from. But the one thing I see, I know that you're making it. I know it's not easy, but you're making it
Yeah.
look easy. I see you out there. You haven't seen a second round in a few years. You're
I
finding a
haven't I haven't
way.
seen a second round in like 5 years, man. I think 2017, 2016. I've only been a second round once, and first round. I mean, three round. I've been to the third round like once ever as well.
Right.
Out of all my fights, I probably got like 12 fights MMA. I'm not counting jiu-jitsu, but yeah, man. I'm a first round type of guy. I think that's just in my blood. Go out there, go to war, and a fast, hard pace. Like we're out here. Like I said in a previous interview, why are we dancing around? Why are we wasting people's money? People out here to just see some fucking violence. Go talk about it and whatnot, and that's who we are. We're entertainers at the end of the day. So we just got to go out there, man, and perform.
What I like so much about you is you're a fighter. And what I mean, let me clarify exactly what I'm talking about here. Because everyone
Yeah,
calls themselves a fighter, but like you start looking at the resumes, you start seeing who are they picking to fight against, when are they fighting. I feel like
yeah.
there are a lot of guys that are turning down fights. There are guys that look at an opponent and they get scared. They think, "Oh man, this is a risky fight."
Ah,
They
man.
they turn it down. A lot of guys are like
Ah,
that.
man.
You seem to be like the type of guy that anytime a name comes your way, you're just like, all right, well, how long do I have?
Yeah, that part, man. That part. I mean, I took on at Worlds. It was a short bracket for SJIF, not IBJJF, in Dallas, and I took on a black belt, man. He was they just to fill in the open weight bracket. He stepped in, and I beat him by points. I was the only one that was able to beat him by points, and I almost had him, bro. Like I had a rear naked choke. I want to say I had 8 submission attempts on this guy. Yeah, man, I've had, I think my first Bellator contract before the one I lost. I was in a fight. Joao Correa, he's the owner of Alliance. So he was a I think 6th-degree black belt, and I was only a blue belt, not even a stripe, I think. So I was like, man, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm like, damn. I guess thank you for saying that, because I didn't put the pat on the back on myself for that
Hey,
that recognition. But I guess most people would not take these fights, right? Because it's like, wait a minute, he's more experienced there. Why should I? Blah blah blah. Like, let me
and
just
you
sit back
see
and
it
chill for that
all the
next
time,
fish. And I was
right?
just hungry, ran, ready to get out the door, man. Like, I'm going to take this contract by the Pachanga or whatever. And I don't care if he's a black belt, man. I'm gonna hit this guy, and I'm younger, and I think at that time I was sparring a lot, bro. I was sparring with some of the best, Pico and all these guys, and I feel good, bro. I feel very confident. It was great, dude.
How difficult is it for you to get fights? Because when I look at you, I see like a lot of gaps. And now let's keep in mind, number one, there's obviously COVID that's right in between your
Right.
professional career so far. Everything was shut down for a really long time. Is it hard for you to stay active, Eugene? Like, is it hard for you to like find fights? Are there a lot of guys that see your name on the paper and don't want it? Like, can you talk to me a little bit about being active, because it's kind of been tough so far?
It was tough for me during the pandemic. I went through a breakup. I had a little, like, I was helping out a friend of mine with a lease, and I had my own business, my bags, my ring. I was personal training in Brentwood. Everything went kind of downhill, but I was still training a lot, man. I didn't get an opportunity. It's been some years that are tough, some years that aren't. Sometimes I've got injured, or not, the event gets canceled, something like that. My opponent gets changed,
Yeah.
or pulls out, and yeah, I've had that down look, but it's been a blessing lately, man. I got that 8-second heel hook. I got the 18-second heel hooks. I think I beat Dan Savage record in 1996. So now I got the fastest leg lock in UFC fight pass. I want to say Aviv Gosali, which is my ex-teammate. He has 11-second heel hook. That's one of the top fastest. But I beat his in a smaller pro professional bout with Cage Wars at 8 seconds. But for UFC fight pass, I think from my coaches were saying I have the fastest leg lock. So
I haven't seen one
yeah,
faster. Like I have not seen one faster. Not on Fight Pass, I
yeah,
haven't
man.
seen one, and I watch a lot of fights, and I have
Yeah,
not seen one.
I've been looking at the old ones too, man, and I have not seen one either. I looked them all up. Don Frye was and Marcos Ruas were the oldest ones I could find that were fast, but I think that was 36 seconds and 20 seconds.
And that's
So
still
man, I
fast.
appreciate the recognition, bro. That's still really fast, and I think they were heavyweights.
Yeah.
So for them to even get that submission that fast is very impressive. But yeah, I'm just grateful I beat that record in one time. Let's see what the future holds.
At Urijah Faber's A1 Combat 6, I kind of wanted to set the stage a little bit for people who didn't watch this fight, because
Right.
when you look at it on paper, it's one of those fights where I feel like a lot of people could have overlooked it and maybe not have like really seen that fight for what it really was. And for
Yeah.
you, this was a textbook example of a risky fight for you, because you're going up against a guy with almost 20 professional fights. He's got an 8-10 record. So it's
If you look on his shirt, dog, yeah, he was 10-10. I think that was a mistake because I know before 2007 there was no amateurs. So in shirt dog they list him as pro. So he was actually 10-10.
I
I think
see.
that's what they told me. This is my boy, man. You know this? You recognize this guy right here? This ugly guy. Well, Bellator World Champion 2015. Uh,
He'll
he
hook
beat
him.
King Mo. He
Hook
beat
him.
King Mo with a fuck. He beat King Mo with a spinning back fist. I don't know if you remember that.
Anything's coming from this guy.
Hey,
Manuel Nunes.
we appreciate the cameo, champ. Talk to me about this guy though, because when you look at David Douglas on paper, this
Oh,
to me,
he looks scary. David Douglas looks scary. Just the name Tarzan, man. Ten
I'm
and ten, and the knockouts he's had, like it was like okay, I knew. And you know what? He came backstage. He went to my corner with the commission, and he requested to talk to me. He was like, man, he was like, man, let's touch hands right now because once that bell rings, Eugene, that's gonna be it. And he looked at me, that's gonna be it. And he has this crazy, I don't know if it's a CTE look or it's just maybe he's just a crazy down fighter, man. But really respectful, but just letting me know, like that's gonna be it. I'm like, all right, I know, dog, yeah, I know what the fuck the fight is. And they said, the commission got him back to his corner. Like, that's it, Douglas, whatever. So that's why we had a little word after the heel hook. I don't know if you saw we're exchanging words. It got a little serious. It was just me letting him know, hey, I didn't shake your hand, not because I was dirty, not because I'm not respectful, just because I had to do the same you were trying to do, man. In my own way.
hey, it's one of those things where this is my opinion, take it or leave it. But it's like you go in the center, you get that one chance to touch gloves if you want
Yeah,
to. And then like when
yeah,
you go to your corner, he goes to his corner. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
If I'm you, I'm not touching your glove again. Like we just
yeah,
did it.
yeah.
Like,
We just
hey
did,
man, like
yeah.
after the fight, we can be
After the
homies
fight,
again.
yeah,
But for
yeah.
now, like I have a job to do. Like I'm not here to hug
Especially
you. Like
especially after that boxing fight where what's his name? Someone did a cheap shot. I think it was Mayweather on Ortiz, right? Or it was
yeah,
maybe
yeah, it was
it was like
Floyd.
it's been
It
a
was
couple
Floyd.
where it's used as a cheap move, right? Like, hey, cut him off guard, boom, to get this money. Yeah,
I
dude.
I know a few coaches that tell their fighters don't ever touch gloves with people. Don't ever do it. Like, sometimes
Yeah,
that it makes you kind of look like an asshole, I guess. But I understand why some coaches would say that.
yeah, man. Indeed.
100%. But this guy that you were getting ready to fight, you're an LA guy.
And they switched me. They at first they had me with an even matchup, and I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna fight someone on my record finally. Shit. So I know most of the time they give me some guys that are hella trained, black belt or hella good wrestlers, whatnot, or
I could have
just
understood.
background. So when they gave me him, I was like, man, are they trying to? I think some of my coaches were like, man, you shouldn't take it. I did ask around for advice, obviously. So some of them were like, don't take it. I think they're trying to build him. Maybe he's trying to get back on the grind. They think you're a bum. But some of them were like, nah, dude, take it. So shout out to the ones that believed in me because, hey, I went in there and I put in work, dude. And then it was fucking fast.
Well, this is the type of guy I've been saying. On paper, his record may not look that great, but you're talking about a guy with a lot of experience. You're talking about a guy who's put away you don't take this guy seriously, it's over for you, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here we were. You got a very scary opponent, and you went in there. We talked briefly after the fight
on Instagram, right?
Yeah, but for people who don't know, for people who haven't read it, can you talk a little bit? Like your plan wasn't to go in there and submit this guy. You had a different game plan. Can you tell people what it was?
At first it was like, man, I saw his boxing fight, so they showed me that, and I was like, you know what, man, I think I could knock this guy out. I do have some finishes with knockout in my early amateur career, and against tough guys too. So I was like, you know what? Let me. I always work my stand up, but just lately they just been going to the ground, bro. I don't know what it's been. So it doesn't mean that I've only been doing jiu-jitsu, even though that's where I've been competing mostly. I did plan to throw a head kick, bro, and I know there's some videos where they throw a head kick and they do an Emirati roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yo, like everybody thought that, like they were like, hey, you did a head kick to where you set up an Emirati roll. Like they even sent me a video. I'll send you one on a DM that I seen of that, and I was like, nah, dude, I didn't set up like I didn't go with the Emirati roll. I just went with Ashi, right? Like I just went with the head kick. It was fucking slippery, and I think my boy Christopher Cruz fought the fight before that, and it went to draw, right? Mm-hmm. So they gave a dog ass fight. It was sweaty. It was watery. I literally slipped. I had a bad ankle. I had an injury that week. I was gonna pull out from it. I had a fucked up ankle, and I got a cold. So that day I was like, oh shit, feeling like shit, dude. So it just honestly it just happened the way it did. I slipped on the head kick, made up with Ashi or X guard, and then I got that heel hook, and then that transitioned to inverted. And when we went belly down, I knew that I was gonna possibly break it, which I didn't want to, but just part of the game, dude.
Hey, it's out of your hands at that point. That's on your homie to tap. Like, all respect and love to him, but your job's to end the fight. Like, you're a prize fighter. Like, listen, heel hooks, all that, leg locks, all that other stuff, that's illegal in amateurs, but at your level, all bets are on, man. Like, that's part of the game, and if you don't like it, don't get heel hooked. I don't know what else to say.
Don't do that sport, right? I know. I hear it a lot too. Like, oh, that's why you take it to the ground, or like, oh, that's a bitch. Like, why are you in MMA, dude? Go and do your sport, right? Because at the end of the day, martial arts are sports. Boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu is not a real fight. There's rules, and it's a competitive sport. I could probably get a lot of criticism from this, but hey, it's rules. It's not a real fight. It's not gonna have rules. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, I think you got to do what you got to do, because what would it say about you if you had the heel hook, you knew you could end the fight, you let him go, and then you stand up and he knocks you out? Then what? What does that say?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if there's an out, like if there's a way, for you to end the fight, like it's like, hey, the bus is stopping now. You can get off if you want. But if you stay on this with me, it's not going to go out good for you. He did the right thing. He tapped. I hope he didn't get seriously hurt, but I've heard it's one of those things. I've heard it's one of those things like you lock it, and it's like you have, but when you start feeling it, it's too late.
Yeah, you feel the pain after. That's the thing about the knee locks and shit, man. But yeah, I think he was all right, bro. I think he knew. He's the purple belt or brown belt in the T-shirt Gracie, so I think that he knew, like it was just one of those things, man. I know they don't really practice leg lock there, so I was like, man, I knew I had more experience there. Coming from having a 10th planet background, and my coach being a 10th planet black belt, I was helping me with the leg lock that camp, or any manual. So shout out to them.
Hey, and shout out to you for getting the 4th victory of your career. I thought that was a big win. I thought you made a big statement on a big platform, and it had to have felt good to get that in LA. That had to have felt really good.
Oh yeah, bro. I was tired of getting sent to San Diego and sometimes Indian reservation, man, or out of the town, to middle of nowhere type of places to fight. Being in LA, I wanted to fight in Long Beach, but or the Forum, but maybe later on, that when a card opens up, God lets it, and and I'll be down for that.
Hey, maybe Bellator comes back to Long Beach. You get an opportunity to go back
hopefully
there.
they don't leave me. Hopefully they don't leave my ass hanging. I hit them up.
Hey,
they fucking left my ass hanging in my hometown, man. But you know what? I made up by getting that fucking win, dude. So
you did, and I feel like that was what you needed to do. Like, if there are any doubts, I thought you erased a lot of those doubts.
I had a lot of doubts, bro. I had a lot of doubts, especially after the 8-second cage wars win with the Marani roll. Everybody was like, "Oh, but he was a blue belt or whatever. He was not really high level, or like he had a couple of losses on his record." Like, hey, well, now I did it on someone that was Strikeforce and world champion, brown purple belt. So I appreciate the respect you're giving me, bro. It means a lot.
I would tell you this, and I could be your attorney. Don't worry about it. So it's one of these things too. So if anyone were to give you shit about any of that stuff, I'd simply say this: you don't match the fights. You get a name that comes your way, and okay, I'm not the matchmaker. Like, I didn't put this together. I just said yes or no. I said yes. You put a name in front of me. I'll say yes to it. I'm ready. My job's to end the fight. Like, all that other stuff, that's not on me. That's not my fault. Like, the homie doesn't have a good record. He's not good at jiu-jitsu. Not my fault. I came in here. I did what I needed to do. On to the next. You guys can whine and be all angry if you want, but I did my job. Hey, it's MMA.
I'm sorry yeah, that's true, man. Well,
didn't even really get sweaty. You ended the fight right away. You got the 4th victory of your professional career. That's 3 fights that you've won in a row. When can we see you back out? When do you want to fight again?
I think I'm gonna do Worlds, the IBJJF Worlds, no gi. I want to win at purple belt next month. I signed up already. And then after that, starting off the year, man, I'm gonna see what opportunities come my way, and then and just take them, bro. Because what else is there to do? When you don't come with the spoon-fed treatment, you got to grind a little more than others. So fuck it. So,
I can't wait to see it. Eugene, thank you so much for joining me this evening. If you had any sponsors or anyone that you wanted to shout out, I wanted to give you a chance to do that before I let you go.
Of course. Okay. I want to shout out Wilshire Dental Group in Beverly Hills. Things who sponsors Kinetic, Auto Collision. My boy Felix Carrata, he owns that. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt under Eddie Bravo. OCRTC, new little gym, Orange County. They've been great with me. A lot of wrestlers, but it's good. It's good for MMA. I had a couple more banner Sep Signs and Long Beach and J Graphic Studios. We're doing my banner, doing my shirts, all that. Always Ready Meals. Shout out to Always Ready Meals. They get you in fucking shape, dude. Lean, fast. And fuck. Kind of thing off the bat of my head. Long Beach Kickboxing Center. Oldest Muay Thai gym in Long Beach. I've been training there since high school, so pretty cool guys. Master Omri's the owner of it. You look him up. That's it, bro. Pretty much. OTM Fight Shop takes care of me with discount shorts at times. Makes me stuff. Yeah, man. And most importantly, thank you again once for the time, bro. And know you're a busy guy. And it was very good meeting you, bro.
Yes, sir. So everyone, make sure that you follow my guy on Instagram. I will put his information in the description for this video. So when it's on YouTube, you'll see it. Eugene, thank you so much for your time, and we'll do it again soon, my man.
We'll do it soon, bro. Hey, thank you, man. Hey, take care, okay?
Anytime, buddy. Take care. Bro.